I was driving from Augusta one night. I had to come across I-20. I had done 3 days of training in Augusta. I drove across I-20 into downtown Atlanta. It's about 10 o'clock at night. I fought my way through the city all the way up through the little traffic that you all think you have and get all the way up to the northwest side. You see, I live in Washington, D.C. I know what traffic is. I get all the way to the northwest side. Up on Northside Parkway, there's a Marriott hotel. That's where I was staying that night. I walked into the hotel, dog-tired, had my suitcase behind me, and sometimes when you check into a hotel late at night, you get somebody on the other end, you feel like you're really interrupting their personal life. You know what I mean. Well, that night was not the case. I walked into that front lobby of that hotel, and the young lady on the other end says, "Good evening, welcome to the Atlanta Northwest Marriott. How can I help you?" I looked, I said, "My name is Greg Gregory, and I'm checking in." "Mr. Gregory, we've got you right here. We've been waiting for you, sir. We've got your room all set for you. All I need is a form of payment and a photo ID. I handed the young lady both of those. "Mr. Gregory, not a problem. We are up on our 15th floor. Do you need anything else this evening, Mr. Gregory?" Now, I've noticed that she's used my name several times. Is that a good thing in service? Absolutely. So I noticed her name tag, and I said, "Alex." "Yes, ma'am, there is. I need directions to the Cobb Galleria Center, and I don't trust MapQuest." Sounds like you can relate. She said, "Not a problem, Mr. Gregory. Let me write those down for you." So she goes over here, and she takes a moment. She's talking to me. It takes a couple of minutes at the most. She writes down the directions. She comes back over, and she goes over the directions line by line by line. "Do you need anything else tonight, Mr. Gregory? How about a wake-up call?" "I'm not really sure what time I need to get started tomorrow morning, Alex." She said, "Not a problem. Todd's our night auditor. I get out of here at 11 o'clock tonight, Mr. Gregory. Todd will be in all night. Just dial 0 and you'll get him. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow." That is 5-diamond service. Now, if I'm checking into a Motel 6, it would have been 10-diamond service, because I have high expectations when I walk into a Marriott. I get upstairs to the room, pick up the telephone, call my wife to let her know I'm in the new hotel. She answered the phone. "Hello." I said, "It's me. I'm in Atlanta. I'm on the phone to Nancy. I'll call you back." Click. That's 1-diamond service. A few minutes goes by, the telephone rings. I pick it up. She says, "Hollywood is sick." I said, "What do you mean?" She says, "He's breathing funny." I said, "What are you going to do?" She says, "I'm taking him to the emergency room." Now, Hollywood's our dog. Just to clarify that. Hollywood is a mutt, a purebred mutt. You all know what I'm talking about. Mutt means most unique, treasurable treat. Hollywood is a mutt. He's a Keysound, Elkhound, Shepherd, Lab, Wolf, and Akita Spitz Chow. And that's just what I know about. He's a mutt. Yeah, everybody can relate to what mutts are, am I right? Well, my wife and I have been married for 20 years, 11 months, 17 days today, and we have no children. Hollywood is our child. She's taken to the emergency room. She gets to the emergency room. She calls me. She says they want to run tests. She calls me back another hour or so later. She says they want to keep him overnight and hydrate him and then make sure that everything's okay. And I pick him up tomorrow morning and take him right to our personal veterinarian. It's now about 1:30 in the morning when I finish talking to her. I have 2 days of training beginning at 9 a.m. at the Cobb Galleria Center. Some of you may not relate to this, but I wasn't sleeping too good that night. It was tough. I finally rolled off to sleep somewhere, and next thing you know, the phone rang. I looked at the nightstand, the clock said 4:15. "Hello, are you sleeping?" "Not really." My wife said, "Neither am I." Hollywood just died. And I lost it. The best friend next to my wife in the whole world, and I cried like a baby. I got up, talked to my wife for a few more minutes, and she said, "Are you okay to teach a class?" I said, "I have to be." I went outside, screamed, because you don't scream in a hotel at 5 a.m. I exercised on the treadmill. I come upstairs, get my stuff together, get my suitcase, and I start to wheel it out. And I begin walking down the elevator to the elevator and got on the elevator on the 15th floor. And as I got on the floor, I started going down, 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 and I realized I left the directions that Alex had given me upstairs. I'll just get another set at the front desk. I remember saying that clear as day as I walked to the front desk in a very slow pace. I'm greeted at the front desk by Alex. I didn't even recognize her. She got off at 11 p.m. and was back in at 6:45 a.m. The hotel calls that a short double. "Good morning, Mr. Gregory. Are you okay?" she said. I stood at the counter shaking and crying, and all I could say was, "My dog died last night." And I lost it. This young lady's hands came across the counter. She grabbed my hand, she held onto it, and she says, "It's okay. I'm going to say a prayer for you today, Mr. Gregory. You're strong. You will get through today. You can handle this." I shook for a minute and I said, "I left the directions upstairs." "I remember, you're going to the Galleria Center. I'll go write them down for you," she says. And she writes them down again, and she comes back. She takes my hand. She says, "Here they are. Let's go over them." She went over them. She hands me the cards and says, "Now go do what you need to do." I left and went and did a program that day, folks, and you got to understand, the people on the other end expected 5 diamond service from me. So it wasn't about what I was going through, it was about what was there for them. I don't remember that day. I really don't. I got back to the hotel that evening, don't remember the ride back. Only thing I remember is when I opened up the hotel room and I pushed back the door, there was a card on the foot of my bed right there. And when I opened up the card, those signatures were on it. Signed by 9 people with the Marriott Hotel. Alex signed the card right there. "Mr. Gregory, I just want you to know how strong I think you are." You remember the night auditor, Todd? Todd signed it right here. He's from Thailand. He wrote the card in Thai. It took me a year to get it translated. It means with great sympathy. Folks, that is 10 diamond service. We're blessed because that story happened up the road in Atlanta. Would you please do me a favor? I'd like to introduce you to Alex Shane. Alex, would you join me here on stage?
Okay, now I want to cry. Wow, I'm getting a standing ovation.
She said to me, "Now I'm going to cry."